Hello, welcome back to the Masonic Roundtable, a weekly program where Masons from around the world get together to talk about Masonic news and opinions in a friendly and social manner. As a reminder, the thoughts and opinions expressed here are solely the opinions of the participants and do not represent any grand lodge statements or positions. Make sure you keep your conversations open for the public and on the level. To interact with us, we love seeing you live every Thursday night over on Facebook or YouTube. Chats are always fun, a lot of good things, a lot of things we can't get to, so our apologies because there's just so much good content there. But remember, if we do pick your chat, it might show up on the show. So check yourself. What else? Oh, and if you can't catch us live, always check the replay or listen to us in your favorite podcasting app. So you know me. My name is John Ruark. I'm a past master of the Patriot Lodge, number 1957 in Fairfax, Virginia. And I'm going to save one guy for last, and he knows who he is. So for now, I'm going to switch over to Robert Johnson. How you doing, Robert?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
Robert Johnson here, host of the Whence Came You podcast and secretary at Waukegan Lodge 78 and newly installed master at Space Novum 1183.
Worshipful master yet again.
Yeah, it's only my second time ever, so I'm not like one of those guys who saves every lodge in existence by continuing to be the master. I know a couple of those guys. They're saints.
Contiguous, right? Exactly.
Saints.
No one wants to be elected master like 2 years in a row. Jason Richards, how you doing tonight?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Just admiring this lovely cheese ball.
It's a festive cheese ball.
I guess. Jason Richards, past master, Vacation Lodge number 16 in Clifton, Virginia. Member of a couple other lodges as well. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Glad to have you. Last but not least, the one, the only, and it is my huge honor to introduce
that has been
past master of Manasseh Lodge, number 182.
Number 1957.
That is me. Oh my God. Yeah, it sounds very weird. Hello.
Past master.
Hello.
It happened.
TMR universe.
It actually happened.
It happened. He showed up. He got installed. He was elected. All those things happened.
Wow.
Joe Martinez, past master of Manasseh Lodge number 182.
Woo!
Yeah, it's been fun. But it ended on Saturday. So, yeah, damn glad to be here as always.
Nice. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Super happy for you. All right, before we get into other things, let's... Brother Mo says we need to nominate you for another 2 years, starting in 2025.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in person tomorrow, my friend. Yes.
All right, that sounds like a threat. All right, let's go to supporting the show. If you're a patron, you guys are awesome. You know who you are. Head over to patreon.com/the Masonic Roundtable. Chip in a few bucks. Go to our private Facebook chat. Go see some pictures of Joe. It's lots of fun. So it's like OnlyFans, but cooler.
It's OnlyFans with a lot less nudity.
Only bros.
Only bros.
I need to register that URL. I'll be right back.
No thanks.
You're muted, Joe.
Only bros before. Wait, what's the other one?
I am damn sure that onlybros.com and .org are taken.
Yeah, I think I might own them already.
Because you couldn't get to Grindr fast enough.
Only O's, like only OES.
It's a real site. I'm not going to recommend that people go there.
Okay.
Totally
All right.
real.
Well,
yes.
My apologies in advance if you went to that URL. But...
Surf the web. At your own risk, on your own recognizance.
I too like to live dangerously.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
lemonparty.org.
No. Jason, what's the short URL on the screen?
This short URL is for our 4th annual TMR Masonic Secret Santa gift giving party. We are super excited. We've got close to 30 people signed up.
Whoa.
So
yeah.
Go ahead and head over to tinyurl.com/TMR gift. The TMR is all in caps. Gift, GIFT, is lowercase. And let's see. You have...
Cost you nothing to join.
You have to sign up by Monday. Monday the 11th. Because
Invite
on
a friend.
Tuesday the 12th, the matches are going to be made. And so what you do is you will get a match, brother you probably don't know, and you get to give them the spirit of giving and Christmas, and take a perusal through their Masonic wish list or their
Yes.
Steal
awesome
ideas.
wish list. Like,
Yeah,
ahead.
You don't have to have just Masonic stuff on there either.
oh no,
You know, that's what's kind of wild. You know, we've participated in these a few times now. I think this is the fourth one,
Mhm.
and every time we do this, I think I got Masonic stuff twice, but like last year I got some leather making stuff, and it was really cool, and I don't know, it was really neat to kind of think about it, and then sometimes you just never even know who your Secret Santa
Yeah.
was. It's kind of
Mhm.
wild.
Yeah, I think the first year we did this, I ended up drawing Brad Drew, and I got him the book Bad Taxidermy,
Oh yeah.
which
Isn't that the gift that keeps on giving?
it's infamous at this point. But
All right, add it to your wish list, guys.
yep, there you go. You may very well get it. So yeah, you do not have to be a Mason to participate. You need to be in the U.S. because international shipping sucks. But this is also on the honor system, and so we are not accountable if the person who drew you sucks and doesn't come through with giving you a gift. We haven't had that happen yet
Has not happened. Nope.
in the 3 years that we've done it.
Don't
So
don't ruin a good thing.
yeah,
And we got some new folks.
remember your oats, right? And but no, it's a ton of fun. It's a good way to meet at least virtually, making the acquaintance of some new brothers, and figure out some interesting things about them.
Nice. Awesome.
Expand
Alright.
your world. Expand your world, guys and gals.
What better way to expand your world than talking about the tarot card of the week?
Tarot
Tarot
card
card
of
of
the
the
week.
week.
Tarot card of the week.
Hey, in honor of the holiday season, tonight we're going to take a look at the Yuletide Tarot. And so I've got the deck here. Unfortunately, ye old Tarot Cam has decided.
Oh,
Yule
man.
log. Not that I have a log or anything.
You like to try my spicy meat log? All right, and tonight's tarot card of the week is the Nine of Gifts,
9 of gifts.
also known as the Nine of Pentacles.
Ooh, all right.
So you have an older woman by the fire with gifts under the Yule tree.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So we're talking luxury, self-sufficiency.
Success.
Right.
Mhm.
9 is like next to completion, where like you're admiring the fruits of your labor.
Yep.
You're content.
Mhm.
You're
It's
content
like
with-
John the day before he finds out he's having another baby.
No.
Yeah.
Don't-
Almost.
No, it's like John 9 months before he has another baby.
Things are going great. No problems at all.
Yeah,
9 of presents and diapers.
it's ironic given that John has 9 children.
I think it's cool, right? Like
Feels like it.
in particular with that card, if you're one of those parents who like shops all year and then is able to refrain from giving your family any of the gifts that you bought like right away, so that you
Then you
actually,
probably have a personality disorder.
like, no, man, it's the only way. No, but
I
like
know,
looking
get it.
at this, right? Saving money, there's security,
Mm.
and even like conservation of energies and things. So maybe she's all like hanging out, admiring all those presents, like, yeah, I saved so much money by buying these gifts all year long.
In February.
I have a fiduciary responsibility.
Nice.
if I save gifts that long, I forget they exist.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, they're in the
That
closet
is-
somewhere.
What it
Yeah.
was that's a scene in that. This will be the second reference to National Lampoon's Tonight. The scene where Clark is in the attic and he like pulls out the thing and he blows the dust off from like
Yeah.
last year. Anyway,
Good stuff.
I'm trying to find the Krampus card again because that's like Robert's favorite
Krampus.
thing ever.
You have to have a German accent when you say that.
Krampus. Little roll of the R's. It's
All right.
literally going to be like
Yes,
the last
this
card
is,
of the
it's a
78.
fascinating show. Dead Air is amazing, Jason.
Oh, it's not
What's
that. Okay,
Garrett
you know what? I'll give you the 10 of Canes.
Oh,
Arguably one of the worst cards in the entire deck. You did.
That poor snowman.
That poor snowman. He's
All right.
played, it's like Sid from Toy Story who played with him.
Let's actually have a show tonight. That would be fun. All right, let's talk about Masonic Feasts. So, we're at that special time of year. Jason found it just in time. The Krampus card.
the attention span of a gnat.
Yes, indeed. All right.
I just want to make Robert happy.
Tonight, we're going to talk about Masonic Feasts. What are they? How do they work? Why are they special? How are they different than other dining rituals that you may have experienced?
Experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Dining
Exactly.
rituals.
what are dining rituals?
Dining rituals.
Hmm.
Don't we all have a dining ritual?
Yeah, mine usually involves like cold pizza in front of a TV in my bed, like at 2 a.m.
In your boxers,
No,
one sock on, one sock
No.
off. You're just-
maybe
No.
one. Not no, nothing.
Okay.
Oh.
let's keep
Picture
this
that,
PG.
baby.
Let's keep this PG. All right. So we've had actually some different episodes about festive boards. We've had episodes about like agape boards. And I really think this is fascinating because yet there is another category of Masonic eating called like specifically Masonic feasts. So in preparation for the show, right, I wanted to think about what's different than how we've talked about these other types of things, because you have table lodges, for example, right? Table lodges in most jurisdictions have a prescribed ritual, sometimes opened on like the EA degree, right, where you can actually do Masonic business, but do it in a table format where you actually have food and maybe some wine, and have a little bit more fun, where you can add some toasts thrown in. Joe?
Yeah. You piqued my curiosity. I've never been, and definitely polling the room here, I've never been to a table lodge where business actually happened. Like the minute in the
Well,
like,
it is a tiled,
it is tiled, yes, because there's
event.
ritual, yes.
right? So it
But we're not
actually-
listening to the short talk bulletin during the table lodge.
And they're
Yeah.
not reading the minutes either.
Have you not?
Not reading the
So,
minutes.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I see that you two need to go to more table lodges. Because not only have I seen education presented, I've actually seen the minutes being dispensed with. in
Oh, we've
table
had-
lodges.
Yeah, but have you seen the minutes been read at table lodges?
But they've been dispensed with, which means they were
I
part of
don't
the
care.
agenda.
No, I don't care.
Yeah, that
It's,
don't count.
I'm going to be pedantic about this. So,
Like
That's
you're
table
you're
lodges.
technically correct, but objectively wrong.
that's the best kind of correct, is being technically
Objectively
correct.
wrong is the best kind of correct. Okay.
Hey, yeah, where's that Krampus card? I'll show you where you could put it. The next one is, right, you have agape boards, right, where you have a nice meal after lodge, right, and it's completely separate, but it is there to promote the fraternal aspect, the social aspect, the let's just enjoy each other's company and presence and just have fun together. Let's eat, let's drink, and be merry. And yet, Masonic feasts seem to be something a little bit different. So what did I do? When I did some research for the show, I went back to the source, and by the source, I mean Mackey's Encyclopedia.
The
of
wet
Freemasonry.
blanket of Freemasonry.
Because, Mackey's never wrong. And I went back to that, and he had an interesting excerpt when you looked under the category of Masonic feasts. So allow me to read a section here, which will help set the stage for what is specifically a Masonic feast, according to Brother Mackey. So, as he writes here, he says the convocation of the craft together at an annual feast for the laudable purpose of promoting social feelings and cementing the bonds of brotherly love by the interchange of courtesies is a time-honored custom, which, unfortunately, is growing into disuse. So, even back in his day,
What year was that written?
I'm going to have to phone a friend on that one to see when he wrote at least published the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry.
Yeah.
But at that point, even then, he says that it was growing in disuse. And so he calls it even the assembly and feast, in air quotes, are words constantly conjoined in the Book of Constitutions. And at this meeting, no business of any kind, except the installation of officers, was transacted. And the day was passed in innocent festivity. So there's a focus only on the social aspect. The election of officers always took place at a previous meeting in obedience to a regulation adopted by the Grand Lodge of England in 1720 as follows. Quote, it was agreed, in order to avoid disputes on the annual feast day, that the new Grand Master for the future shall be named and proposed to the Grand Lodge sometime before the feast. So no politics during your feasting. That's decided. We're here to have fun. And
Well, you don't want to nominate people while you're boozing up. You know what I mean? Because that would make for long debates.
Vermin Supreme for president. Yeah, so I found this to be fascinating, right? Well, for a couple reasons. One, he says it's already in disuse as a separate Masonic function that is no business is conducted, maybe for installation of officers, but not election of officers. And it's just there to really, provide that social lubricant to enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, I mean, Space Novum adopted St. Andrew as the patron saint of the lodge. So we have the Feast of St. Andrew every year,
Nice.
whether regardless of when it falls. It's always on November 30th, so we don't care if it's a Saturday, a Friday, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. So we all know the date. We're all there, and that's when our installation of officers happens as well. So it typically involves a very nice meal, no Masonic business. We usually have a speaker. We've got good fellowship. And then after all is said and done, there may be wives or only brothers present or mixed company. It doesn't really matter. We move forward with the installation of officers. And there's no governance in Illinois of the installation of officers the way it's to be done. I mean, there's a prescribed type of ritual, but it just kind of happens. And we have a lot of fun with it. And the feast is a great time to do this. It is, you can go back and look even at the history in general of feasts, going back to things like guild use of feasts. And there's nothing crazy about it. A lot of times we talk about some neat practice that harkens back to some maybe esoteric or symbolic thing, but really the feast is a celebration of humanity. I mean, it's culture, right? It's the culture of those medieval guilds.
It's a celebration of humanity, but it's also a celebration of a job well done and work accomplished, right?
Absolutely.
It's huge, yeah.
True Masonic wages right there.
Yep. And speaking of wages, it typically costs a full day's wage for your meal to go to the feast. That's how much it would cost an actual person. Yeah. Can you imagine somebody today on average giving up a day's pay to go to your feast? I think a lot of Masons might throw a fit about that.
Well, especially if they're serving spaghetti and green beans,
dollar menu at McDonald's, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which doesn't exist anymore.
That's right.
It's gone. But yeah, no, I think that to your point, going back to Masonry, one of the earliest things we've got Anderson's Constitutions, right? And the very first thing it says is we're forming a Grand Lodge so that we can get together and feast. And we'll do other stuff too, but the whole purpose is to get together
We need a reason to eat.
Yes, eat and be merry.
That's really hilarious.
Well, because they had fallen out of practice, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they? Wasn't that like appended to that reason?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, they forgot to eat?
It's really interesting. You've got a couple authors, H.L. Haywood. He had a quote. I pulled it up here. It says, "It was clear that no one had to be reminded or even encouraged to go to lodge, for that was a haven of rest, relaxation, learning, enjoyment, and refreshment," in reference to having a monthly feast. Where each month a lodge would have its feast. Our lodge does it once a month, but I think that it speaks to something that is kind of interesting, in that, if nothing else, you're going for the meal, and I've got a treat for you later when we talk about that.
Well, I saw this from Nunya, and it sounds funny to say, but that is what feasts were like a couple hundred years ago. It wasn't just a short buffet line and people throw a couple
Cold
of green beans on
beans,
there and stuff like that. No, you had spreads and cornucopias filled with food, and
for a day's wages, it better be good.
Yeah, just ample amounts of things to nibble on, and be with your bros. So, it's a very accurate image.
Yeah.
Like,
the continuation of that quote I read earlier was, it said, "What business has any lodge to be nothing but a machine for grinding out the work?" So they're talking about making masons. It was not called into existence in order to have the minutes read. Even a mystic tie will snap under the strain of cheerlessness, repetition, monotony, dullness. A lodge needs a fire lighted in it. And the only way to have that warmth was to restore the lodge feast, because when restored, good fellowship and brotherly love will follow. And where good fellowship is, members will fill up an empty room, not only with themselves, but also with their gifts.
Was this written like last year, or
H.L. Haywood, so
okay.
a little while back.
It's a little bit while back.
Yeah, and I see some people commenting on. I'm reading the comments today.
Like green beans?
No, I've seen many green beans. No, I saw somebody posted something about. Nunya. He mentioned something about, the thing is, a lot of brothers don't have much money, so how do we make this happen?
Raise dues.
Well, I mean, it's a realistic comment, but again, and I know we've said this on the show before, what is it that you get with your masonry? Is your masonry worth your money? We can sit here and calculate, well, you spend 15 cents a day on your masonry, but you have zero issues getting a venti frappuccino 3 times a day from Starbucks. You know what I mean? So
yes, but what value are you getting on a daily basis out of your Masonic membership?
Right.
There's room here, though, to explore this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been to a number of festive boards where I've purchased a ticket, and upon purchasing that ticket, there's another line. It says, "Buy another brother a meal."
That's cool.
And so you can donate extra or buy a second plate on your ticket just to cover those brothers who might not have the cash to go. And I think, like, personally, I love that, because I'll tell you what, probably 10 years ago, I would have needed that free ticket. Yep. And so that's one thing, Nunya. Like, we can start looking at using some of the practical elements of our fraternity, like the inner charity, to help
brotherly love relief. Maybe. Yep.
That's what it should be all about, right? So
yeah. I love what Brother Mo said. If a brother can extend a hand, he should do incognito, right? And I love that the anonymous piece of that. There's no glory in helping that. It's just the right thing to do.
I want to be in line and saying, "Hey, Jason, I'm paying for your meal because you're poor."
I mean,
suck it up.
Wouldn't want to say that, but
No, that's a great point, Brother Mo. Right? It's right. We're a fraternity. We're helping each other out. We're all in this together, and we should be raising each other's spirits right this way. So no one should feel awkward that they can't, contribute to, the social part as well.
Yep.
But there are other Masonic feasts as well.
What?
I know that Brother Joe thoroughly enjoys going to his Scottish Rite Feast of Tishri.
Oh, I do.
Say more about that, Brother Joe.
I do. So,
Past Master Joe.
yes. Hello. Thank you, Joe. I should be napping in the corner with my head pointed up to
That's
the
not
sky.
the way we did it in my year.
But yes. So, for those who are not Scottish Rite Masons, the Feast of Tishri is a feast based on the Jewish holiday of Tishri, which celebrates the freedom that the Israelites won, within the confines of providence that was given to them by God, right? Despite being shackled in Egypt and having their butts whooped by the Philistines. So the Scottish Rite does celebrate this feast. I personally love it because at my Scottish Rite Valley, it's always a big Thanksgiving dinner, and it's nowhere near Thanksgiving. It's usually September or sometimes in October. It changes with the Jewish calendar, but yeah, super good time. The feast is really good. There's always an amazing program, and it usually has something to do with, Jewish history and how it relates to Freemasonry. And, you get into conversations about the temple. There's toasts that go on as well. There's an explanation. The couple times I've been, there's an explanation of what is found in the Holy of Holies. So super Masonic and very interesting. And like I said, a really great spread, and everybody's there just to have a really good time. So I've been to Scottish Rite meetings where, again, it's your business, your minutes, I'm going to read all this stuff that's sitting on Robert's desk because he's going to be secretary forever. And
Not this year.
Not this year, but yeah, it's a really good event, and it's if you're a Scottish Rite Mason, you can participate.
It's also an obligatory observance that they must perform to it by the ground council.
What about so in
Council.
the Scottish Rite up here? Like I've been to the Feast of Tishri, like at Southern Jurisdiction Valleys. Up here in the north, we have a Feast of the Paschal Lamb. Do you guys also do that?
Ooh.
I've heard of it. I can't say.
So essentially, what it is, the Feast of the Paschal Lamb is, in a sense, it's almost a degree that's performed on stage. There's a table, rent in the cross, roses at the different stations, and there's a little bit of ritual that goes along with it. We usually serve the meal beforehand. Everybody moves into the theater. We watch the Feast of the Paschal Lamb, and as that's happening, they read the eulogy of all of the Scottish Rite members that had passed in the last year.
Oh wow!
So it's kind of like a remembrance night.
But it's got Hebrew ties as well, right? Because the Feast of the Paschal Lamb that's the lamb you slaughter before the Passover.
Yeah.
And I was actually looking. It looks like it's only on the NMJ website, and it looks like it's in the Rose Croix chapter.
That is true. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't been to one down here in the Southern Jurisdiction. Road trip.
Let's do it.
Not for me.
Let's go. Shut
Yet.
up.
Shut up.
Yeah, yet. You can just join up here, Jason. They got Road to the Right. You go watch it online.
Look, all things being equal, I do really like Johnny Royal.
True. So another thing that comes to mind that I wish we did more of is to solidify the actual saints, John. Because we do have, these patron saints of Masonry, John the Baptist and John the Evangelist. And I'll never forget I'll never forget how it was introduced to me, and I've never forgot it since, which one is which, right? John the Baptist, you don't want to get baptized in the winter. You want to get baptized in the summer, so it's cold. So get baptized where it's warm. So John the Baptist is in June, and John the Evangelist is celebrated in December. And so we have these two patron
Because you
saints.
can evangelize in any weather, really.
Oh, yes, even if it's cold.
All day long and all night strong.
So we have these that actually come from, religious observance. These are patron saints. They were sainted before Masonry came around, so we kind of, culturally appropriated those saints. And they already had feast days, right? So we do. Yeah, I love that, Mike. Mike the intern, also doubling down on the baptized in the summer. So we have these patron saints. We have culturally observed feast days already associated with them. So, like, I wish we had more of an observance to those dates as well, right? So, in the Grand Lodge of Virginia, we always have like an edict that comes out like in June and in December that says, "Hey, by the way, we're Masons. We should be, celebrating our patron saints, but we encourage you to celebrate it however you wish, in whatever observance that you would traditionally observe."
Yes, but I think there's
Yes,
also a
and.
recommendation.
There's no but. It's a yes and. Thank you.
Yes, and there's also a recommendation that you attend a place of worship.
Indeed, but don't do
Like
it
that.
Masonically. That's the thing. It's like, hey,
Right.
we're gonna culturally appropriate these patron saints, but yet just celebrate it in your own way. Joe?
Well, actually, no. If I remember, because I've had to read some of these edicts, unfortunately. When you get the one for, you should go out and celebrate the, St. John's Day, you're actually told to go to your place of worship in your Masonic regalia. Yeah, it's.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, which I don't think is done as often as it used to be, say 20, 30, 40 years ago, a bunch of black suits.
There have been some interesting renditions of this tradition. I've seen in and around our jurisdiction where, for instance, pick a St. John's Day and they'll have a special dinner at the lodge with programming, which counts as kind of that quote unquote observance.
Yeah, and that's what I would like to see more of, right? Like, what if, roll with me here, right, that we actually treated one or both of the Saints John as feast days, like Masonic feasts? Anyone at all?
I think all of you. Yes, hello. Hi.
Anyone
Joe.
other than Joe?
Past master here. I know all the things.
Immediate past master.
I'm so smart. I know everything.
You're like a second lieutenant.
Yeah.
Like,
Butterbar. Boo. No, I'm not. I actually worked for a living, but no. So we were blessed. I think all of you guys had been. We did table lodges at both the feast days, both in June and December. To John's point, it looks like a lot of lodges only do one a year, but we celebrated both for at least 2 or 3 years.
the gold star
on the feast days. And we made it a point to actually talk about Saint John during those feasts,
Exactly. I mean, it's such an easy lift, right? Because again, we're not inventing these. These were already around pre-Masonry. And so it should be an easy lift to actually treat it as a celebration, a feast day, rather than just other Masonic duties as assigned.
Yeah.
Does anyone know the answer to Mike the intern's question here? Didn't some past Grandmaster get expelled for wearing his apron to church at one of the St. John's Day?
I think he's talking about old Preston.
Yeah, it's our buddy Preston.
Yeah.
Old Billy Preston.
That's right. You can't walk across the street wearing an apron without getting expelled. So,
no kidding. Where we do our feast each month, we left lodge and we were just walking like through our parking lot across like 2 streets, and then we're there. Short walk. And I literally get to the restaurant when I think Spencer, some of you guys know Spencer Hammond, he goes, "Hey, you still got your apron on?" And I was like, "Oh, whoops." And I just had like a white cloth one on, or, just a plain one on. And I just kind of like, folded up, put it in my pocket. But yeah, I mean, dude got expelled from Masonry.
Could have got expelled for that, Robert.
Could have gotten Billy Preston.
Yeah, I know. But somehow I think
look right, look left. in this
After-
podcast, and
Yeah.
two of
So-
us will be expelled within the next 10 years.
Billy Preston, though, when he gets expelled for doing this, at a feast event, he is expelled for a number of years and eventually gets called back because, quote unquote, somewhere paraphrasing, the grand bodies were like, "Hey, we don't have anybody to do all this administrative, teach the work stuff."
Right.
And then they invite him back, and I think that's probably the only time in all
JK,
of Masonic
LOL.
history, the only time in Masonic history where a Grand Lodge was like, "Oh, maybe we were wrong."
Maybe. Thought we were wrong. We were
We
mistaken.
thought we were wrong. Yeah. So go figure, right? But what if they mandated it? What if, just like Grand Lodges ask us to hold an installation of officers
Ooh.
as a ceremony,
Ooh.
what if they said something like, our jurisdiction will have a feast of St. John's, twice a
Nice.
year, or like to lighten the load, maybe say pick one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
they're
will take it over a one-day class.
100%, right? But like in Massachusetts, for instance, or maybe it's Pennsylvania. One of the two, they like mandated that lodges open up to the public one day a year, and like this is the thing they have to do. So I see that as way over the line, and I think mandating a feast is way more. Something in my mind that's way more Masonic.
It's fair.
I like it. And really, because it sticks to what we're all about, right? It is directly tied. It introduces the educational and the fraternal aspect together, intertwined. Like you can't deny that it's wholly Masonic in what it would be. So it's not like, oh, we don't know what education is because no one can define Masonic education. Like, no, it's Saint John. Like, there it is in black and white. So
Whoa.
everyone gets Wendy's.
Cheesy baked potato.
Oh, do they still have those?
They do. They're so good. You know what they don't have? Green beans.
And yet, the founder of Wendy's was a Mason and didn't include green
Dave
beans.
Thomas. Yes.
Yeah.
Davy Thomas. Yeah.
We're,
You think
we're
it's any
adding
wonder
wise.
he has crafted lemonades, you guys? Come on.
I'm getting hungry, and it's late.
It is.
Just drink more beer.
Noted.
All right. So what would you do to ensure that a feast tradition were kept separate and whole, aside from these other types of Masonic eating rituals like agape boards, table lodges, and all that? Do you think that there's something that you could do to preserve it, keep it separate? Or do you think they should be separate? Do you think that it doesn't matter because we're all just eating as bros, or something else?
Well, what would you?
I'm trying to think about your question here. I think it gets to intent, right? Like, so let's do the opposite. Let's talk about the opposite of feasting, the traditional dinner before lodge, right? It's usually depressing.
Yeah,
Usually
let's
like, damn,
call it
I
for what
really
it
don't.
is.
I'll grab something, put it on my plate just because I have to, because I'm here. Versus it's exact opposite. Like, I am super looking forward to going to a feast and celebrating and having merriment with my brothers, right? So it's intent more than anything else. I think if you're going to be intentful with the purpose of why you're holding a Masonic feast, then I think you can put a lot of importance around it and spur some interest
Yeah,
out of it.
it's
you know?
really
Well,
up
and I
to
think
the director of the whole thing, right? Like whoever's planning it gets to set that precedence.
Well, and I think too, like when you're talking about a dedicated feast and remembrance, right? I'm gonna bring up the E word. Kevin Homan's gonna like jump for joy when he listens to this tomorrow. Like when you're doing a feast of remembrance, you're really building your lodge egregor.
Ooh.
Mm.
What's egregor, Jason?
So egregor is, that je ne sais quoi spirit of the lodge. It can be that feeling of, coming home
Group
when
consciousness.
when you walk into a room with all your brothers. But yes, it is a group consciousness, a group energy that you all share.
I want
So
to read.
it's not a je ne sais quoi. You can actually say quiet,
I was going to say, I can't really describe je ne sais quoi that easily.
As you wish, Joe.
As
As you wish, gentlemen.
I love when people define things with it's je ne sais quoi.
Okay.
Say
Here-
more.
This is a little poem written, I think, by a guy named Brother Richard Kurtz, and it goes like this. I want your where did Joe go? I
removed him.
need Joe's reaction to this
I
one.
need to revoke Jason's
Here you go.
Admin permissions.
admin privileges.
Shut up, listen.
I do not attend the meetings, for I've not the time to spare. But every time they have a feast, you will surely find me there. I cannot help with the degrees, for I do not know the work, but I can applaud the speakers and handle a knife and fork. I'm so rusty in the ritual, it seems Greek to me, but practice has made me perfect in the knife and fork degree.
That bro has diabetes. Okay.
And
That's a given.
work
right?
and fork don't rhyme. Do better.
That dude has definitely comorbidities going on. Okay. So
But I got
why
the
not?
knife
Why
and
can't
fork
you do
degree.
both? Why can't you do both? Why can't you be
Yeah.
awesome at ritual and awesome at initiating people and have a damn good, lovely time
Right.
at a feast?
And that's what it's about, right? Because
Right.
of course, we're all lovers of Masonic education. It's not everybody's jam. And yet, that's the beauty of Freemasonry is that it's many things to many people, unfortunately, in my opinion. But because of that, you need to balance it out. And if we can balance out the fraternal, the social, the enlightened, the educational, the ritual, and just make sure that we are keeping all things in check, all things in balance, we can have great experiences, especially when we're not heavy-handed in any of those. If we're too heavy-handed in the reading of the minutes, right, you're gonna lose guys to non-payment of dues, right? If you're too heavy-handed in education, you might be, thought of as that weird lodge that talks about weird stuff that really is, it's kind of hard to trace back to Masonry, right? So we need to find that balance. And I think you did a good job of that, Joe. I'm going to give you kudos, right? Because you attended to all those things. And while it was a ton of work and long meeting nights, you did it very well. So I want to just give you a special shout out for that, because I don't know if that's been explicitly called out, but I want to make sure that your efforts were not unnoticed.
Well, thank you. That
To
means
make
a
sure
lot.
everyone felt welcome. Everyone felt like they got something out of lodge.
I mean, not to get off on a tangent, but I mean that's
But
something
you're
that
going to do it anyway.
But I will, but I won't. But it's something you got to realize. It's some people. Now that I'm so wise because I'm a past master, I could say this. But
Bestow your wisdom, Joe.
yes, people think that your march to the east to become master is all about the crap that you're going to do that year, right? Like, this is my year and this is what I'm going to do and this is all the stuff. No, it's if you guys haven't noticed, this is a voluntary, I don't need to be their organization. I'm there because I choose to be. And whether it's 8 to 10 people or 30 to 40 people on an evening, they're choosing to be there. So if you're not catering to those 30 or 40 people, you're doing it wrong. And it can't be about all the cool little crap that you want to do. It's what your brethren want. And if you can show them a new thing or two along the way, then everybody's successful, right? And I think a lot of people miss that, and you hear them, and we all know people that say it. It's like, well, in my year, this, dude, it wasn't your year. It was the lodge's year. You just got the keys to the parking spot. That's it. But people don't understand that. And I think that's where we suffer a lot.
You were the chief steward or the servant leader of the lodge for that year.
That's the way it should be.
Correct.
Maybe not always the way it is.
No, and we've talked about servant leadership.
Yeah.
But for a buy-in voluntary organization, there's no other recipe for success, right? You can't be
Agreed.
You can't be the general. You can't be the guy leading from the rear and making other people do stuff. It doesn't work that way,
It can't be taken down past.
The real question is, should worshipful masters eat last?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Damn right.
Lots of head nods. Yeah.
Simon Sinek would agree with you.
Yes, he would. I'm not a big Simon Sinek fan, but meh. He
Books
appeals to
are
some
okay. Off the cuff is a little cringy.
people. Yeah.
So if he's got an
we-
editor, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
He's great when he's being edited.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you. Love you. Feasts are great.
Indeed. What would you say, Robert? What do you have queued up here? I'm calling you out because
I'm so scared.
I'm watching the magic happen in the background. No, he pulled it.
It was a meme. It was Dodgeball and Underdog Story when Ben Stiller's character's like, "Oh, you caught me. I like to break a mental sweat too." And the caption was Masons when there's EDU at the feast. But like that's legit. Like I think there's something that can be said for when Joe said, I think there's room to like to get both types of Masons involved and looking forward to the feast. You can schedule a speaker over the feast and have great food and still you could satisfy both things. And I think what's interesting is, I heard a smart Mason once say something like, yeah, the meal fills me up, but the content of the education like feeds the soul or something along those lines. And I always thought that was that's really neat. This idea that I'm coming to this meeting, to this feast day, and I'm doing both. I'm leaving full, mind, body, spirit kind of thing. And that's something that, like, the mind with the education, perhaps the body with the nutrient food, and the spirit due to the camaraderie, or as Jason was talking about, the egregor in the room, the kind of feel goods that you have. How many times you leave a feast or a great meeting where everybody's really jiving, and you say to yourself, oh man, I should buy that guy something, or like
Really
think
good
about how you
degree.
can help that guy out somehow. Or you go home and you're thinking, and you're like, oh, you know what, he's getting on my Christmas card list. It's those kind of things that form those connections. And I don't know, I think they serve a
RJ
real
sends
purpose.
pretty good Christmas cards.
Yes,
He does.
It's like the meat sweats and the brain sweats.
You got it, John.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, that's when you gotta put your forehead on the porcelain.
Yep.
It's that good of a meal.
Dig those nails into your thighs. It's meat sweat time.
Oh, this is such a great show.
I need a Masonic feast at Fogo de Chao.
Oh God, can you imagine us the next day?
Oh my God.
Sweaty and not even going near each other.
Right before an SRICF morning meeting on the other side of the state.
Come in for a hug.
Yeah.
You're all slimy. No.
See, that's why at my SRICF meetings we just do boxed lunches. Super cheap.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry too.
I am too.
I was told this
Taco
would be
Bell's
catered.
open. Taco Bell's open.
I had it for dinner.
Ooh, nachos Bel Grande plus guacamole.
Nacho fries.
Oh.
Fries back in the house. Limited time only.
Squirrel.
Oh, I love it.
All right, I'm boycotting. They got rid of chicken roll tacos.
Those were good too. Let's bring it home.
Their breakfast burritos are fantastic.
Let's go to the question of the week. The question of the week is, if you were responsible, you're part of the committee to form the Masonic Feast coming up, what is at least one thing that you would want to make sure is included in order to spread the cement of brotherly love? So I'll repeat the question. You are in charge of you're responsible for the committee on the next Masonic Feast. What is at least one thing you would do to spread the cement of brotherly love? And I'll save our immediate past master for last. Just because.
Get some mileage out of that.
All right, Jason, go ahead.
So I could be trite and say education. Like have education on what the feast is about. But I won't say that because everybody expects me to say that. This would probably go very poorly, but right before the opening prayer, I would instruct everyone to get up and like switch places with their neighbor, or pair off and move to a different seat, so that depending on the size, you would guarantee to be sitting next to someone you didn't know or didn't know well.
Ooh, no clicks in masonry. Yes,
I like that.
that's a good one.
So it's an opportunity to get to know and get to expand that egregor with another brother.
Ooh, said the magic word. Awesome.
Twice.
I know.
Good
So,
one. Good one.
Gotta
All right.
gotta copyright that TMR bingo.
All right. Robert Johnson, what say you?
I really like Jason's idea. I've been to
Thank
some,
you.
yeah, I've been to some festive boards where, or feasts, if you will, where we were instructed we were given 3.5 by 5 cards and a pen, and like you kind of gave 3 bullets about the person next to you, and then after that was done, the master said, "Okay, I want everybody to introduce the person that you interviewed." And so they went around and did that, and it was such a good idea to do. And yeah, it took time, but let's be honest, the people who care about the time are not usually at these things anyway. But I like Jason's idea. I would almost double down on that, and just to be different, I would say that perhaps I would ensure that we have a set of toasts written by the members that are not the prescribed toasts that we're told to do.
It seems
Sorry,
as Joe
Wow,
agrees with you.
We're back into that grind again, right? Where RJ goes first.
Ha!
It's the same damn thing.
Sucker.
Say. Oh,
Hey, Joe.
what?
would you say?
Well, you can ask Robert because he knows. No, yeah, I was thinking of the non-standard toast. That was going to be my first answer, where people just speak from the heart and do things. But what I think, and I've seen it done at a couple of feast type events, is whether you're doing it singing Old Lang Syne, or if you're just coming together in a chain of union, having some sort of gathering together in a circle, right? Like some jurisdictions do nothing of the sort. We in Virginia, we're lucky, right? Because we get to do the charge around the altar in a circle kind of thing. And, a lot of people seem to dig that. But coming around for the purpose of masonry in a circle, whether you're holding hands or not, having a communal moment during those feasts. So it's not just you're sitting at a table and eating and talking to your little clique of friends, but getting around communally, and whether it's singing a song or gathering together in prayer or doing something together where you're communal and you're with each other, I think can make a feast a bit more meaningful and spiritual, and dare I say, use Jason's word, enhance the egregor of the room,
Enhance.
Enhance. Awesome. Love it. Love it. So the only thing I would add to what you guys said is make it an experience, right? If you're going to take time away from your family to like be part of this Masonic feast, make it an experience. Think about like what Disney would do, right? You want to make sure that it's good food, and it appeals to all the senses, right? Maybe have some music playing in the background. Maybe dim the lights a little bit. Maybe make sure that we're all enjoying the sights and smells that go with this meal, right? So it's not rushed. It's good food, right? It's not Taco Bell night. And just treat it as a separate event, right? Treat it as, a moment in time that you can enjoy together. To tie everything that the other brothers here have said, and so because time is valuable, and if we're here to promote the fraternal aspects of this great brotherhood that we're in, then we should be enjoying each other's company with intention, with respect, to enhance the egregor. We want to make sure we are having a good time and just making it something that's memorable, that when you go home, you go, not only did I get full physically, but I got full spiritually, I got full fraternally, and that I want to do it again. That I want.
Now
to
I just want to throw up.
Yeah, that's right. Get the bucket. And so, on that note, I want to thank you
Wafer
all.
thin mint.
It's just a wafer thin mint. On that note, we almost ended on a high note. Let's
We're back to
Monty
vomit.
Python is a high note.
let's thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you next week, and keep searching for more light. Have a good night.